Welcome again. In this lesson we will be painting a beautiful Douglas fir tree. The materials we will be using for this acrylic piece are a flat paintbrush number 2, a round paintbrush number 4, a fine paintbrush 10O, graphite pencil. The acrylic pigments we will be using are ivory black, burnt umber, burnt sienna, turquoise blue, sap green hue, olive green, chrome green, yellowish green, lime yellow, parchment, and titanium white. Let's start by briefly drawing the structure of this formidable Douglas fir. We only need to sketch the trunk and the bigger branches to have a sense of dimension and distribution. We can start from the base and work our way up. Let's not worry if the lines aren't perfect. Trees in the wilderness aren't either. Once we have a simple map of the tree, we can start the act of painting. Let's dip our round brush in water and mix it with the black color. Notice that most of the trees are bigger and thicker on the base, and they get thinner and less dense on the top. We can paint the branches under the same principle. We can use water to thin our paint and dilute pigments as we need. Now let's switch to the flat paintbrush number 4 and start placing small clusters of leaves to the tree. We are using ivory black as a base for all the colors that we are about to add. And we can take advantage of these darker areas to represent the branches and leaves that are on the rear or under the shade of an upper branch. Let's begin adding the different shades of green. Starting by sap green hue, we can distribute the density of the leaves from bottom to the top. The placement of sap green in the branches gives us a perception of certain transparency and allows the eye to perceive multidimensional layers and the presence of light. Mixing turquoise blue with olive green will give us that pigmentation that things have under the blue sky. It also adds another layer to the branches, giving the impression that those branches are closer to us. Let's start adding light to our wild Douglas fir. Firstly, by placing chrome green on certain branches, we will communicate that there is an upper section in each branch. Remember to move your wrist and paint following the direction of the branches. Yellowish green will indicate that the source of light is most likely to be the sun. This pigment is applied in less quantity over the branches. The reason for this is that most of the time, light does not reach the deeper corners of the foliage in the trees. The last step for our foliage distribution is a mixture between lime yellow and titanium white. Our goal here is to highlight certain edges of the tree where the light bounces back and shines like there is no tomorrow. It's time for our fine friend to make its debut. Let's dip the thin paintbrush in water and mix with ivory black. We want to create a realistic look by placing very thin and fine twigs coming out from random places from within the foliage. With subtle brush strokes, it's like we discover new little friends coming out to greet our eyes. Look at them. They wave at us, sharing their unending happiness. Finally, the lowest part of our friend, the Douglas fir. Slightly using parchment, burnt umber, and sienna, we place the texture of the bark by moving with vertical strokes along the trunk. Let's choose where the light will come from and where the shade will remain. By grabbing parchment pigment, let's add short lines and dots. The perfection of the patterns in the bark of a tree lies in all the unique imperfections. In the shade area, we will be using burnt umber as a base, and then distribute with slight brush strokes the burnt sienna. Feel free to place as many details as you wish. It all is about enjoying the act of painting after all. And remember, we always print our personalities in the great extension of our art. Always keep in mind to rinse your paintbrushes in between colors and get rid of the excess of water from the bristles. I hope you have enjoyed this wilderness art tutorial. I'll see you in the next video.